Hi guys, how you doing? Today we're going to do a comparison of the Polaris Turbo S compared to the Maverick X3 Max. This is basically the comparison that I did when I was actually looking into buying a new side-by-side. I have a list on my iPad of all the different stuff and all the comparison that I did in multiple aspects of both vehicles. Some of them are going to be more taste related, the other ones are going to be more performance related and what I actually saw. When I was going through the evaluation, I was really taking a lot of things into consideration that I will talk about on the video, but this roughly will give you an idea of what is actually, the cons and benefits of each of those two vehicles. As you can see, I obviously went for the Can AM Maverick X3, but I think, and you will see by the end of the video, that that's more because of the taste on some of the aspects that for me were more valuable compared to other ones. A lot of people may go for the Razor, which is an absolutely great vehicle. But let's go through the list and then we will do the accumulation of points. But this is basically the comparison that I've done. So we're going to start with the tires and wheels. So the Can AM XRS Max comes with actually 14-inch beadlocks wheels and 30-inch tires. They come with the Maxxis Bighorns 2.0, which is overall a good tire for all terrain. The advantage on the X3 is they come with beadlocks by default. So it's a 14-inch beadlock, which, it's a really good rim. It's actually a really good rim. You would say, people will actually be able to replace them. A lot of people do. For me, to be honest, I think that this 14-inch beadlock is actually really good. The other thing is the Razor Turbo S. That one comes with actually no beadlocks, but they come with a 15-inch rim and a 32-inch. I believe it comes with, I don't remember the brand of the tire, but it's also a really good tire, and they're bigger tires. So the advantage of that is, yes, the tires are a little bit bigger, which, to be honest, I will definitely switch to 32s on this vehicle as soon as these tires are done. So I would say on the tire side, yes, Razor comes with 32 and already set up for a 32-inch wheel, which is at least 32-inch tires, which is really good. The only thing that's a little bit upside down, it would be the no beadlock on it. I think, that's the advantage that the Can AM has that the Razor doesn't. So beadlocks, that's definitely a good thing to have. You would say, well, yeah, those are not the best. True, but I do believe that those are actually really good wheels. So I will actually give a point to the Can AM by having beadlocks, and I will probably give another point for having 32s to the Razor because they have 32 wheels, which is something that I'm going to do on this one as well at some point. Now, steering. The steering, I would say, but driving both of them, and I will actually put a video probably around here where you actually will see the comparison of both. The steering will definitely be, I believe, a point that we should give to the Razor. The reason is their steering is feels a little bit more solid. It's a little bit more more tough. So I believe, the Razor will definitely have the point on the steering. Not that it's not good on the Can AM, and actually you have multiple levels of, softness and harder on the steering wheel, which is really good, and I think that's a really good thing. The Razor also has it, but I do believe the Razor is actually winning on the steering as well. So I will give that point to the Razor. Now, visibility, Razor compare to the X3. I'm gonna be honest, the Razor is a vehicle that it's a little bit set up in a higher position, so you're more on top of the vehicle, which obviously gives them a really great visibility, not only in front, rear, and on the sides. You can turn back and then you have a great visibility because of the position and because of the cage. So that's definitely better. On the Razor, you have way better visibility, you have way better positioning in the fact that you're a little bit more on top, you see a little bit better. So I would definitely give that visibility point to the X3. Here the visibility is a little bit more reduced. On the rear, you're not going to see anything, especially if you put like a particle separator, that's for sure. You're not going to see nothing, even if you have a mirror. Reason why on my vehicle I actually put a front and rear camera in order for me to gain visibility. So that's one of the reasons that I actually put those accessories in here. The reason being the visibility on the X3 is not great. So I will definitely give that point on the to the Razor as well. Now the sitting position. Here is one of those things that actually the preference of the person will really come into play. On the Razor, you will be definitely, higher position, more on top of the vehicle. And then the X3, you're actually more inside the vehicle, and you will actually, be more in the racing position that will allow you to, be inside the vehicle and be more surrounded by the vehicle. So you have more a sport racing kind of position compared to the Razor, which, depending on what, your preference is, some people will be, I prefer to feel like, that I'm actually on a 4x4 or kind of like a pickup truck, then I will definitely select the Razor. For me, I really prefer that, cockpit kind of like racing position. So I will definitely go for the X3. So that's one of the reasons that I will give, for myself at least, a point on the X3. So that's definitely the X3. Another point that I wanted to talk about as well is the lighting. On the lighting, both vehicles have really good lighting. They have, HID on the front, and then this one has like the eyebrow signature kind of a LEDs as well. The Razor, I really love the kind of like the shark kind of aspect of it. I need to say that I'm really fond of that. So in that case, I will actually call it a tie. I do like the look and aggressiveness of the X3. I like though the shark look on the Razor, but I do prefer the X3 and the way that it looks a little bit more aggressive. So that's another point for myself in terms of looking. Talking about the look as well. The position of the car and the look of the car, it's a little bit more towards racing compared to the Razor, which for me the look, it's a little bit better on the Can AM X3 compared to the Razor one. As I say, I do like the shark look, but I do prefer the aggressiveness of the X3, so I will definitely give that point to the X3 as well. Now, the other things that I will actually, talk about will be the ability of having accessories. Now, the accessories that comes with the Can AM X3 compared to the Razor are pretty similar. The availability of those accessories are probably almost the same. You usually have LED lights, light bars, spots, sound systems, particle separators, racks, coolers. You have the ability to have the exact same accessories on the Razor compared to the X3. So I will definitely, say that that's a tie. So that's not a lot of difference. I would actually say that you probably have more choices on the Razor compared to the X3 because of the fact that a lot of people have been on the Razor market for a long time. I mean, Razor has been on the market for a long time, so that's why, they probably have a little bit more accessories. The accessories on the X3 though, they're really great, they're really cool. Almost everything fits on both, so that's pretty like it. So I would say, both of them are exactly the same. I do like a lot though the BRP, AOM accessories that come with the Can AM, like the cooler that actually really fits the look of the car, and then the racks that really fits the look of the car as well. So that's something that I actually liked on that. So I was a little bit more convinced on that. Other than that, most of the accessories are exactly the same on both ends. So there's not too much difference. Now, the other things that we would talk is about braking. So for the braking, I would say it's actually a tie. Most of those vehicles have the actual same brands of braking pads and braking calipers. So that's definitely a tie. Both of them are extremely great at braking, so that's for sure. The tires are going to matter a lot in terms of braking because of the impact that we have on the floor. So that's really great. But I would say both of them brake really great. So that's for me it's a tie. Now on the clutching part, I would probably say that the clutching part was probably a tie, but I will have to say that I will give it to the Razor. The reason being is on the clutch, the Razor is already mounted and set up for 32-inch wheels, tires, sorry. So I think in that case, it will definitely give the advantage to the Razor. On the X3, depending on how much power you actually pull in, you will start having issues, especially if you go to 32s or above and you start sending it, you will have, some clutching problems, and it's a little bit more known on the clutching problems on that end. I'm not going to go anything above 32s, so that should be good. I'm probably going to do some changes on the clutches at some point as well. But I would probably say, it's a tie, even though I think, because of the fact that the Razor is set up for a 32 tire setup, I will definitely give, the point to the Razor as well. Now, for the belts. I would actually give a tie as well for both of them. All of them come with, with the 4-point different belts, which is great. The advantage though on the Razors, on the X3 though, it's most of them, they all come stock with those 4-point belts, and they're pretty good. They're really sturdy. They're comfortable as well, and that's probably more due to the sitting, to the seats that the X3 has. Not that the Razor are not comfortable, but I do believe that the Can AM actually has more enveloping, more racing kind of seats that are a little bit more adapted, at least to me. So I would definitely give that point to Can AM as well. Now, another big difference as well is the steering wheel. The steering wheel, and that's something that I really like on the Razor, is they have a Sparko steering wheel, which for me it's fantastic. It's really a racing kind of wheel. But on the other end, the steering wheel on the X3, I really love it. I love the feel, the fact that it's a little bit small, but at the same time, you're able to control it. So I do love that as well. So I would say, that depends on the choice that you and the taste that you have. It's a point that, yes, Sparko on the Razor, so I would probably give it to them. But the fact that, I really like how the X3 wheels feel, I will probably keep on the X3 as well. Now, after that, I will probably talk about, technology. And this is a point where I think the last Turbo S from Razor has really stepped up in terms of, technology and options that are available for the Razor. The Razor comes with a small screen on the dashboard that, you're able to connect, a front and rear camera to it. That, I believe, it's really a really great point and a really great touch on the vehicle. That's something that, it's already included in the Turbo S, which I believe it's really, a really great advantage to have. So I would definitely give the technology, point to Razor because of that. So they really have that it's, that it's really great and comfortable on that end. You have that screen that, you can see the speed, you can see everything. And then on top of it, you already have Bluetooth included, a lot of different things that you have on the Razor that you don't have on the Can AM at this point. Sure, it's an option. You can get an aftermarket, like touchscreen. For me, for example, I use an AirPad that I connect to my sound system and everything. But on the Razor, it's already come there. For the cameras, I'm using the Autobox X2. But on the Razor, it's already included. So it definitely put that technology point for the Razor. That's something that's for sure. Now, another thing that the Razor also is doing really, really well is, and this is what we will start talking about, the shocks. So the advantage of the Razor is you can actually change the setup of your shocks on the Razor with a touch of a button, which for me, that's, it's phenomenal. It's great. I believe that's a really great feature to have. I would love to have that on my Can AM. Unfortunately, we do not have it available on the Can AM, which is, like a really miss on their end. But at the same time, this is a brand new feature that the Razor has, the dynamics of those setup, which is really great. Now, on the shock itself, I would say the Can AM is probably winning. It has bigger shocks, more sturdy, so I would definitely give the shock aspect of it to Can AM, because the Can AM quality shocks that they have, even though it's the same brand, it's better on the Can AM. But You will have to do the setup yourself, even though a lot of people are aware of, you know, the Fox shocks tune. It's great. I do believe it's a little bit superior compared to the Razor, but I would have to say that in terms of comfort, the Razor has that dynamic feature where you can actually change everything in a touch of a button. I'm gonna say that I'm actually really jealous of that feature. So I would say, you know, on that end, it would be a high quality X3. Comfort, I would say definitely Razor. That's something that, you know, that they have an advantage. And I hope, you know, Can AM will take that kind of feature in the future for the upcoming X3 vehicles coming up. Now, in terms of, you know, quality of feel of the materials and how it's built, I would definitely give the point to Can AM. It feels sturdy, it feels strong, it feels great quality, the materials, the dashboard, even though some parts can be a little bit more plastic, or, you know, most of it is plastic, but it feels of a better quality, a little bit more stronger, a little bit more solid, right? On the X3, I do have that, on the Razor, sorry, I do have that feel that it's a little bit more cheap material, that it's just, you know, cheap plastic, and it's something that you bend, you break, and then that's it. So I would say quality of the build, I will definitely go with the X3. It feels a little bit stronger, and it feels a little bit better quality as well. Now, after that, I will definitely go for another point, which is the differential. So the differential, it does feel a little bit stronger on the X3. That's, I think, the point, that the differential and also the smart lock makes a big difference, and that's something that, you know, the X3 has done an amazing, I mean, at least Can AM has done an amazing job. No loss of power, everything is, you know, really great. The differential here, the smart lock is absolutely great on the X3. The Razor does have that 4x4, you know, feature as well, obviously, but it doesn't feel as powerful, it doesn't feel as solid. It's a little bit of lagging on that end as well. So on that, I will definitely go for the X3. It feels powerful, it feels smarter, it's actually working better on the X3. Probably because of the length also of the vehicle, it has a better grip on it, it helps a lot, but it does feel better on the X3, I would have to say, compared to the Razor. The big part of what I also went to the X3, it's now what we're going to talk now, is going to be engine. Engine wise, we know the numbers are, you know, 175 for the X3. I believe it's 165, 168. You would say 10 horsepower is not much of a difference. Well, I would have to say maybe because of the position, maybe because of the feel, but you do feel that the X3 is more powerful on that end. You would say, well, yeah, I can actually start modifying, you know, my Razor and get to that point. Yes, of course, but you can also do the same, which is what we're trying to do as well with the X3, to gain extra powers. And as you can see, all of the big, you know, racers on the Baja 1000, or all the big, you know, dirt racers that have UTVs, you would see that they're actually going with the X3 base in order to build their racing cars. The reason is because of the engine. The engine is more powerful. The engine is, you know, being built in having in mind really, you know, to have that power delivery. I'm not saying the Razor is not, but it's a little bit more performant on the X3, which is one of the big reasons that I've been and I selected the X3. Having a powerful engine, a better engine, and also having a lot of because of, you know, a lot of racers are actually choosing to select the base of the Can AM and the X3 to race. There's a lot of performance enhancer that are available on the market that allow to boost your X3 at the same time, which makes everything easier. So that's one of the reasons I will actually say that the engine on the X3 is probably better. Without forgetting that, you know, there's a lot of issues that are known also with the Razor, where, you know, there's some overheating and then, you know, having, you know, that vehicle busting out in flames. Overall, I would say that, you know, having, you know, buck for your money, I would say both vehicles are pretty similar. I would love to see the dynamic suspension features on the X3. That would definitely make having an X3 a no-brainer. But I would say when I went and buy the X3, I was really close to actually select the RZR because of a lot of those features. In terms of quality, you know, Polaris has been on the market for a really long time, Can AM as well. Those vehicles are really brand new. They're really looking to break into the performance world, which is great. Their performance is amazing, but I will be honest. I think, you know, both vehicles are really great, but the main difference of them is going to be, you know, the sitting position. It would be the height, because also, and that's the reason I actually lifted a little bit my X3, is the RZR. It's a little bit higher. Also because of the position that you have, the RZR is definitely higher than the X3. So for rock climbing, that's definitely something that you don't have to touch anything. They already have, you know, those 32s. They already have that high clearance. So that's an advantage that they have. On the X3 though, they're built for going fast. They have that performance look, that aggressiveness, and that engine that it's really great. Overall, I would say, you know, the value of those two vehicles are really great, but the difference will be, you know, what do you like more? For me, it was definitely the position, it was definitely the look, it was definitely the engine. That for me was what made the choice easy, well, not easier, but that made me make the choice of buying the X3. But to be honest, the RZR was a definitely great option, and I was really close to pick up the RZR as well. So those points are, you know, what I think are the advantages and disadvantages between those two vehicles. Put in the comments if you differ and have, you know, a different opinion. But I think roughly, you know, those two vehicles are exactly really close to it in terms of performance and in terms of look and functionality. I would say definitely the RZR has the advantage of having more technology, but I do see the X3 being the outperformer in terms of, you know, having a better engine. So hopefully you liked the video, guys. You will see a lot of footage on comparison the two of them. Let me know on the comments, why did you pick the vehicle that you picked? If it was RZR, if it was the X3, the reason that you selected. I definitely say that both of two vehicles are definitely comparable and they're really close to each other. But as I say, the difference will be the position and some of those small stuff that are going to be more in terms of taste more than actually performance. I believe they're extremely close in terms of performance on all the aspects. And I think, you know, those two vehicles are great, but in terms of preferences, the reason I really selected was the position, the engine, and the look of the aggressiveness of the vehicle as well. And also the fact that a lot of people are going for the RZR, and I wanted something a little bit more different as well. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click on the little bell so you don't miss any future videos that are coming up. We will do a lot of new videos coming in, so I hope you will follow us and support the channel as well. If you have any question, any request or anything, make sure you put it on the comments, like the video, and see you next time.